I loved the original Zombieland, I thought it was a really good movie. But whenever they decide to make a sequel like a decade or more later, I'm usually very skeptical because I have to wonder about their motivations. Did they actually have a really good idea for a follow-up, or is it just a shameless cash grab? Are they perhaps out of ideas for original concept and just decide to milk a dead franchise instead? And the second question that comes to mind is a sequel really necessary? Does it serve an actual purpose and does it bring something new to the table? And more often than not, the answer to that question is no, not really. But what about this one? Is it just a cash grab, and is it really a necessary sequel? Well, I will say that I liked it. I thought it was pretty fun, and surprisingly funny too. In fact, I would say it was more consistently funny than your average comedy. And a lot of that was because of the writing, which was pretty decent. But a lot also depended on the actors, because all of these guys are really funny in this. They all have great comedic timing and know how to get the most out of a scene. Well, I say all, but to be frank, Abigail Breslin, who plays Little Rock, seemed a little bit disinterested. She seemed like she didn't really want to be there and just sort of phoned it in. Which might have also been because, well, her character didn't really have much to do in this. She was kinda underutilized, as was Emma Stone, I feel like. But she at least seemed to be putting in some effort here. However, the movie kinda revolves around Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg. They're the stars of the show and they seem to be having a really good time doing this. But yeah, their chemistry is on point as well. I really like those two in this. But the surprise for me was absolutely Zoe Douche, who I think was a nice little addition to the overall dynamic. And while she didn't exactly have a major role either, she did everything she could to stand out. And I did end up liking her in this, which means I liked most of the core cast here. I think they did a good job, and as I said, the writing for them wasn't bad either. I will also say that I thought a lot of the action was surprisingly fun too. There are quite a few very satisfying zombie kills in this, so that was an entertaining aspect as well. However, then we get to the actual story and that's where this sorta disappoints. Or well, that's not the right word because I didn't expect anything from this story. But it definitely didn't do anything to exceed my very low expectations either. But the plot here is very simple and straightforward and just sort of serves as a vehicle for the comedy really. It's just there for the characters to get into different situations and to get a chance to have some fun. And that's pretty much it. This definitely does not rely on the story to be entertaining. However, I will say that the fact that this takes place 10 years later, and the characters have now grown and they're more experienced. They have things a bit more figured out, they're used to living in Zombieland now. That definitely gives this one a different dynamic compared to the first movie. And I like that, so in that sense it did feel fresh and not just like some tired old rehash of old ideas. But is this still just a blatant cash grab? I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. I think the director had an idea for a sequel. And the cast happened to have some free time in between other projects. So they decided it would be fun to do something a little bit less serious for a change. And as I said, it did seem like they had a good time making this, at least when it comes to Harrelson and Eisenberg. Which brings me to the question, was this really a necessary sequel? And the answer to that is a resounding no, absolutely not. It doesn't really bring a whole lot of new to the table. But I'm still glad they made it, and I'm still glad I watched it, and I didn't really have any legit issues with it either. However, would I recommend it? If you liked the first one and don't have anything else to watch, maybe give this one a shot. Or don't. After all, you're not missing out on much, and I'm still not your dad. But hey, what are your thoughts on this? Have you seen it? Did you like it? Let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a thumbs up or sub to the channel, because that would be fantastic. And if you'd like, you can also support me on Patreon or PayPal through the links in the description. And as always, I appreciate you, and thanks for watching.